The Royal Malaysian Air Force. Jawi, 00 plus or minus 0 section 0000 terahertz plus or minus 0 section 00 plus or minus 0 terahertz UUSHO cubed USHO section was formed on June 2, 1958 as the Royal Federation of Malaya Air Force. However, its roots can be traced back to the Malayan Auxiliary Air Force formations of the British Royal Air Force in then colonial British Malaya. Today, the Royal Malaysian Air Force operates a unique mix of modern American, European and Russian-made aircraft. Early years. The Malaysian Air Forces trace their lineage to the Malayan Auxiliary Air Force formations of the Royal Air Force raised in 1934. They later transformed into the Straits Settlements Volunteer Air Force and the Malaya Volunteer Air Force formed in 1940 and dissolved in 1942 during the height of the Japanese advance over Malaya. The latter was re-established in 1950 in time for the Malayan emergency and contributed very much to the war effort. On June 2, 1958, the MVAF finally became the Royal Federation of Malaya Air Force. This date is celebrated as RMAF Day yearly. On October 25, 1960, after the end of the Malayan emergency, the British Royal Air Force handed over their first base in Malaya to the RFMAF, at Simpang Airport. It was established on June 1, 1941, in Sungai Besi, Kuala Lumpur, which was formerly part of Selangor and the national capital city. The first aircraft for the fledgling Air Force was a Scottish aviation twin pioneer named Langraja Worley by the then Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman. Several Malayans serving with the Royal Air Force transferred to the Royal Federation of Malaya Air Force. The role played by TUDM was limited initially to communications and the support of ground operations against communist insurgents during the Malayan emergency. TUDM received its first combat aircraft with the delivery of 20 Canada CL-41G Tebuans. TUDM also received all copyright Rospati Al-Alouette 3 helicopters, to be used in the liaison role. With the formation of the Malaysian Federation on September 16, 1963, the name of the force was changed to Tentera Udara DiRaja Malaysia, or Royal Malaysian Air Force. New types introduced into service included the Handley Page Herald Transport and the de Havilland Canada DHC-4 Caribou. TUDM received Sikorsky S-61A4 helicopters in the late 60s and early 70s which were used in the transport role. TUDM gained an air defence capability when the Australian government donated 10 XRAAF CAC Sabre fighters. These were based at the Butterworth Air Base. After the withdrawal of British military forces from Malaysia and Singapore at the end of 1971, a five-nation agreement between Malaysia, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, and the United Kingdom was concluded to ensure defence against external aggression. The Royal Australian Air Force maintained 2 Mirage IIO squadrons at the Butterworth Air Base as part of its commitment to the Five-Power Defence Agreement. These squadrons were withdrawn in 1986, although occasional deployments of RAAF aircraft continue. Modernisation. With the withdrawal of British military forces, TUDM underwent gradual modernisation from the 1970s to the 1990s. The Sabres were replaced by 16 Northrop F-5E Tiger IIs. A reconnaissance capability was acquired with the purchase of 2 F-5E Tiger I aircraft. TUDM also purchased 88 ex-US Navy Douglas A-4C Skyhawks, of which 40 of the airframes were converted refurbished by Grumman Aircraft Engineering at Bethpage into the A4PTM configuration. TUDM has traditionally looked to the West for its purchases, primarily to the United States. However, limitations imposed by the U.S. on new technology to the region, such as the AIM-120 AMRAAM fire and frigate air-to-air missile, has made TUDM consider purchases from Russia and other non-traditional sources. The 90s saw the arrival of first the BAE Hawk Mk108/208 which replaced the TA-4 PTMs, followed by the MiG-29N Nub in 1995 and the air superiority role and delivery of the FA-18D Hornet in 1997 to provide an all-weather interdiction capability. In 2003 a contract was signed for 18 Su-30 MKMs for delivery in 2007 to fulfill a requirement for an initial order of multi-role combat aircraft. a requirement for a further 18 MRCAs remains unfulfilled. TUDM is also looking for an AWACS aircraft, although no firm orders have been placed. On December 8, 2005, 4 Airbus military A400M aircraft were ordered to enhance the airlift capability. The first Malaysian A400M will be delivered in 2016. In late 2006, the government signed a contract to purchase 8 Aramaki MB339CMs to add to the 8 MB339AMs already in service. In March 2007, then Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister Najib Tun Razak notified the public that the MiG-29s would continue in service until 2010. Later that year, Najib announced the Nuri helicopter, in service since 1968 with 89 crew members killed and 15 accidents, would be phased out by 2012 and replaced by the Eurocopter EC-725. Deputy RMAF Chief Lieutenant General Bashir Abu Bakr told the media after opening HeliAsia 2007, that tender assessment for the replacement of the Sikorsky S-61A4 would occur in early 2008. In late 2013, Vector Aerospace, a global independent provider of aviation maintenance, repair and overhaul services, with its subsidiary, Vector Aerospace Helicopter Services North America, one of the world unregistered trademark leading providers of helicopter maintenance, repair and overhaul services, was chosen to carry out a comprehensive fully integrated glass cockpit installation for the S-61A4 Nuri, breathing new life in an already well-established platform, and giving a modern, reliable and cost-effective product that will carry the S-61A4 Nuri well into the future. In June 2009, RMAF Chief General Ahsan Arifin said that the Air Force would replace their MiG-29s with aircraft that have better agility and the capability to attack enemy forces. At the 12th Defence Services Asia Exhibition 2010, a letter of agreement was signed for 12 EC-725 helicopters to be supplied to the RMAF. With that, EADS has pledged €100 million to set up a comprehensive helicopter centre in Subang for an aeronautical academy, training, simulation and a maintenance, repair and overhaul facility for the EC-725 Cougar military version and the EC-225 civilian model. Aircraft. Air bases. Air bases include, TUDM Butterworth, Penang 5.464434 a degree N 100.391178 a degree A/5.464434. 100.391178. Penang, TUDM Kuantan, Pahang Satellite Imagery, TUDM Gongkidak, Kelantan Satellite Imagery, TUDM Labuan, TUDM Kuala Lumpur 3.114120 a degree N 101.701813 a degree A/3.114120. 101.701813, TUDM Subang, Selangor 3.119005 a degree N 101.544399 a degree A/3.119005. 101.544399, Selangor, TUDM Kuching, Sarawak, TUDM Alasitar, TUDM Ipoh, Perak, TUDM Bukit Lunchu Jawa, Control and Reporting Post, TUDM Kenrara, Selangor, TUDM Bukit Jugra, Selangor, TUDM Bukit Abam, Pahang, Organisation. 1st Division, 2 Squadron a Fokker F-28 Fellowship, Falcon 900, Global Express, Boeing BBJ, Subang AFB, 3 Squadron a S-61A4A Nuri, Butterworth AFB, 6 Squadron a BAE Hawk 108/Hawk 208, Kuantan AFB, 10 Squadron a Eurocopter EC-725, Kuantan AFB, 11 Squadron a Su-30 MKM Flanker, Gongkidak AFB, 12 Squadron a Northrop F-5EF, RF-5E, Butterworth AFB, 15 Squadron a BAE Hawk 108/208, Aramaki MB. -339 cm, Butterworth AFB, 16 Squadron a Beech 200T, Subang AFB, 18 Squadron a Boeing FA-18D Hornet, Butterworth AFB, 19 Squadron a MiG-29 NUB, Kuantan AFB, 20 Squadron A Euro Lockheed C-130H Hercules, KC-130T Sabang AFB. 2nd Division, 1 Squadron A Euro CN-235-220M, Kuching AFB, 5 Squadron A Euro S-61A4A, Nuri Labuan AFB, 7 Squadron A Euro S-61A4A, Nuri Kuching AFB, 14 Squadron A Euro Lockheed C-130H Hercules, Labuan AFB. Training Division, 1 FTC PC-7/PC-7 Mk2, Ala Sitar AFB, 2 FTC Alouette 3 Ala, Sitar AFB, 3 FTC MB 339 cm, Kuantan AFB. Ranks of the Royal Malaysian Air Force. Until the late 1970s, the Royal Malaysian Air Force used the same officer ranking system as the Royal Air Force. They were replaced by Army-style designations and given Malay title equivalents, but the sleeve insignia remained the same, mirroring the RAF practice, but all general officers wear 1 to 5 stars on the shoulder board in addition to the existing sleeve insignia. The list of ranks which are currently used are shown below. NCOs and enlisted ranks remained unchanged, and retained their pre-1970s names. All officers, with the exception of the Marshal of the Royal Malaysian Air Force, apply the Air Force acronym to their rank title, to differentiate from their Malaysian Army equivalents. For example, a colonel in the Air Force would be titled Colonel, RMAF, or Colonial, TUDM in Malay. Warrant officers, non-commissioned officers and enlisted personnel, Warrant Officer 1, Warrant Officer 2, Flight Sergeant, Air Sergeant, Air Corporal, Leading Aircraftman, Aircraftman First Class, Aircraftman, Aircraftman Recruit, Royal Malaysian Air Force Regiment. The RMAF Regiment is the ground and air defence support unit of the RMAF. It is composed of the various units of the regiment tasked to fulfill the RMAF's mission and vision. These units are, Pascal TUDM, RMAF Provost Unit, RMAF Infantry, RMAF Ground Air Defence Artillery, Special Forces. The special arm of the RMAF is known as Pascal, and is part of the RMAF Regiment. Pascal was formed in response to a mortar attack by the then Communist Party of Malaya on a DHC-4 Caribou in the 1970s at the Kuala Lumpur Air Base. During peacetime, the unit is tasked with responding to aircraft hijacking incidents as well as protecting the country's numerous RMAF air bases and civilian airports. Its wartime roles include ground designation, sabotaging of enemy air assets and equipment, and the defense of RMAF aircraft and bases. This unit is also deployed for counter-terrorism duties as well as urban warfare close-quarters combat. RMAF Provost Unit. This is the military police unit of the RMAF Regiment, mandated to provide military police duties in RMAF air bases. Aerobatic Team. The Chris Sakti is the recently founded aerobatic display team of the Royal Malaysian Air Force. It makes its debut on 2011 Langkawi International Maritime and Air Show on December 2011. They operated 4 extra 300L aircraft. Missing jet engines scandal. In May 2008, 2 J-85 GE-21 engines that power the Northrop F-5E Tiger II fighter jets belonging to the Royal Malaysian Air Force were reported missing, as of sometime in 2007, from an RMAF warehouse in Kuala Lumpur during Najib's tenure as Defence Minister in Abdullah Ahmad Badori's cabinet. The jet engines belong to the 12th Squadron based in Butterworth. The issue became a matter of political dispute, and it was reported a Brigadier General, 40 other armed forces personnel, had been sacked over the incident. On January 6, 2010, 2 Malaysians, an airman and a civilian contractor, were charged in connection with the theft and disposal of both engines. Engines diverted to Uruguay. On February 5, 2010, Attorney General Abdul Ghani Patel revealed that the 2 missing engines had been found in Uruguay with the help of the government there, and the Malaysian government is proceeding with the necessary measures to secure their return. Investigations showed that the engines were taken out of the RMAF base on December 20, 2007 and January 1, 2008, and sent to a warehouse in Subang Jaya before being shipped out of Malaysia to South America. Gallery. See also, List of aircraft of the Malaysian Armed Forces, references. External links, www.airforce.gov.my, Royal Malaysian Air Force Overview, first pick of Malaysia's newest U-30 MKM, RMAF official website, Malaysian Armed Forces official website, Malaysian Ministry of Defence official website, Scramble, Malaysian Forces Overview, Tentera Udara DiRaja Malaysia, Royal Malaysian Air Force Museum, Bases and Squadrons.